Hello students, welcome to another video of number theory. Today we are going to discuss one more theorem, one more important result of number theory. The statement of the theorem is, let a comma b and m are three integers in which m is positive integer. Let a, b, m be given integers, and GCD of a and m is equals to g. GCD of a and m is equals to g. Then the congruence ax is congruent to b mod m. The congruence ax is congruent to b mod m has solution if and only if g divides b, that is GCD of a and m divides this b if and only if g divides b, and if this condition is met, that is if this condition holds, then the all solutions, that is x may be any integer which satisfies this ax is congruent to b mod m. Our theorem says that if this congruence is given and if GCD of a and m is g, then if that g divides b, then this congruence has solution. So at least one solution. If there are some other solutions, then the all solutions of this congruence satisfies or forms arithmetic progression. If this condition is met, then the solutions forms an arithmetic progression, with common difference, m upon g, and giving g number of solutions, under modulo m. Statement of our theorem is a, b and m be integers from which m is a positive integer, and if the GCD of a and m is equals to g, then this congruence has solution. GCD of a and m is g, then this congruence ax is congruent to b modulo m has solution if and only if this g, that is GCD of these two numbers, divides this b. If this condition is met, that is GCD of a and m is g and ax is congruent to b mod m, if this condition is satisfied, then the all solutions of this congruence forms an arithmetic progression with common difference m by g. Since GCD of a and m is g, so g must divide m, so m by g is again an integer. So if this condition is met, then the all solutions of this congruence forms an arithmetic progression with common difference m by g, and the most important thing is this giving g number of solutions under modulo m. Therefore we can say that this congruence has exactly g number of solutions, that is GCD of a and m, g number of solutions under modulo m. Now to prove this result, in the proof of this theorem, we have given that a, b and m are integers and m is greater than 1. This let a, b and m greater than 0 be integers, and also given that GCD of a and m is 1. GCD of A and M is 1. Now in the first part we are going to suppose Ax is congruent to B mod M has solution, and we are going to prove this G divides B. Now suppose the congruence Ax is congruent to B mod M has solution, and our claim is G divides B, and claim is G divides B. As this congruence has solution, suppose that solution be x naught, therefore that x naught must satisfy this congruence. Suppose this congruence has solution, say x naught, therefore we get Ax naught is congruent to B modulo M, since this x naught is solution of this congruence. So x is equals to x naught is solution, means this x naught satisfies this congruence, that is Ax naught is congruent to B mod M. Now we can use the definition of congruence and write M divides Ax naught minus B. Therefore we can write M divides Ax naught minus B. Now we can use the definition of, this is by using definition of congruence. Now we can use the definition of divisibility, and we can write Ax naught minus B is equals to M into some integer, suppose M into Y, suppose this, and Y belongs to Z. This is by definition of divisibility. So we can rearrange this, Ax naught minus My is equals to B, or we can write it as Ax naught plus M into minus of Y is equals to B. So we can write Ax naught plus My, suppose My prime is equals to B, where Y prime is equals to minus of Y. This gives this, and also we have given this GCD of A and M is G, and we have G is GCD of A and M. So from this we can say that G divides A and G divides M. We are going to prove that G divides B, and we get B is equals to Ax naught plus My naught is equals to B. B is equals to this value. If we prove that our G divides this number, then we can say that G divides B. We have given G is greatest common divisor of A and M. So we can write G is equals to GCD of A and M. So by using definition of GCD, we can write G divides A and G divides M. G divides A and G divides M. Now we can use the result, A divides B and A divides C, then A divides Bx plus Cy. We can write G divides Ax naught plus My prime by using the result A divides B and A divides C implies A divides Bx plus Cy for any integers x and y. Using this result, we can write G divides Ax naught plus My prime. So this is suppose equation number 1. Therefore from equation 1 we get our G divides this B. G divides B. Hence the proof of first part. In the proof of first part, we have just supposed that GCD of A and we have given that A, B are integers and M is also a positive integer, and GCD of A and M is G. Make correction here, GCD of A and M is G. So supposing this Ax is congruent to B mod M has solution, that solution be x naught, and using the definition of congruence on that Ax naught is congruent to B mod M, and definition of divisibility and rearranging, we get the value of B as Ax naught plus My prime. and also from the given thing, that is from this GCD of A and M is G, and from that we can write G divides A and G divides M, and using the result A divides B, A divides C, then A divides Bx plus Cy, we can write G divides Ax naught plus My prime. So from equation 1, that is from this equation, we have the value of Ax naught plus My prime is equals to B, so we can write G divides B, hence the proof of first part. Now to prove the converse part. Now the proof of converse part. Conversely, we are going to suppose G divides B and going to prove Ax is congruent to B mod M as solution. Now conversely suppose that G divides B, and our claim is Ax is congruent to B mod M as solution. That is, we are just going to find the value of x which satisfies this congruence. So we have G divides B, and also we have GCD of A and M is G. So from this, by definition of GCD, we can write G divides A and G divides M. So G divides B, G divides A and G divides M. So we can write G divides A, G divides B and G divides M. So using the definition of divisibility on these three terms, we can write A is equals to G into some suppose alpha, B is equals to G into some beta, and M is equals to G into some gamma, and these all alpha, beta, gamma are integers. Alpha, beta and gamma belongs to Z by definition of divisibility. Now consider this congruence. Ax is congruent to B mod M, and we are going to prove this congruence as solution. Now consider the congruence. The congruence equation is Ax is congruent to B under modulo M. We have A is equals to G alpha, B is equals to G beta, and M is equals to G gamma. Substituting the values of alpha, beta and gamma, we get the another equivalent congruence as this G alpha x is congruent to G beta under modulo G gamma. Now we have the result Ax is congruent to Ay modulo M if and only if x is congruent to y modulo M upon GCD of A and M. Therefore, by using the result Ax is congruent to Ay modulo M if and only if x is congruent to y modulo M upon GCD of A and M. So using this result, we can write here alpha x is congruent to beta under modulo GCD of G and G gamma. So we can write alpha x is congruent to beta under modulo G gamma divided by GCD of this A and M. Here A is equals to G and M is equals to G gamma. So we can write G with G gamma, and clearly we can say that G and G gamma, this G gamma is multiple of G. So we can say that GCD of G and G gamma is G. So which is congruent to beta under modulo G gamma by GCD of G and G gamma is G, since this G and G gamma is multiple of G. So G will get cancelled and we will get beta is equals to, beta under modulo gamma, that is alpha x is congruent to beta modulo gamma. We are just finding the value of x which satisfies this congruence, and we have taken this congruence. So if we simplify this congruent and get the value of x, then we will say that x is solution of this congruence. Here we get alpha x is congruent to beta modulo gamma, and this congruence is again equivalent to this congruence, since we are just simplifying this congruence. If we divide both side by alpha, then we will get x is congruent to beta by alpha under modulo gamma. But beta by alpha, we cannot say that beta by alpha will integer. If we get beta by alpha is an integer, then x is equals to beta by alpha is our solution of this congruence, then our theorem is proved. But we cannot say that this beta by alpha will be integer. If we can say that beta by alpha is integer, then our solution is x is equals to beta by alpha. But here we cannot say that beta by alpha is integer. So here in these two steps we have just taken this GCD of G and G gamma is equals to 1. Instead of writing this GCD of G and G gamma, we have just write here G, since this G is GCD of G and G gamma. This is the reason for this step. Now we are just going to find here x is congruent to some integer under modulo gamma. Now to prove, we must use our given things. We have given GCD of A and M is equals to 1, and another thing that we have supposed is G divides B. Up to this step we have just used the G divides B and GCD of G and M is equals to G. We are again going to use that GCD of A and M is equals to G, since G is GCD of A and M. So from this we can write GCD of A upon G and M upon G is 1. This theorem we have seen earlier. Or GCD of A by G and M by G is 1, and we know that this A by G, if we divide this A by G we will get alpha, and if we divide M by G we will get gamma. So this is nothing but this is the GCD of alpha and gamma, which is equals to 1. Now we get GCD of alpha and gamma is equals to 1, and we are going to use the result GCD of A and M is equals to 1 if and only if AX is congruent to B mod M has solution. Therefore by using here we get GCD of alpha and gamma is equals to 1. So by using the result GCD of A and M is equals to 1 if and only if AX is congruent to B mod M has solution. B mod M has solution. So we will get alpha x is congruent to B modulo gamma has solution. Therefore the congruence alpha x is congruent to, our result was if GCD of A and M is equals to 1, then AX is congruent to 1 mod M has solution, not B. 1 mod M has solution. So this alpha x is congruent to 1 mod gamma has solution. The congruence alpha x is congruent to 1 mod gamma has solution. Suppose that solution be alpha bar, and this alpha bar again must belongs to this CRS under modulo alpha. CRS under modulo gamma, that is this alpha bar lies between 1 to gamma minus 1. So we get alpha x is congruent to 1 modulo gamma. This congruence has solution alpha bar. Therefore this alpha bar must satisfy this congruence, that is alpha bar is congruent to 1 modulo gamma. Therefore we get alpha bar is congruent to 1 modulo gamma. So we have this alpha x is congruent to beta modulo gamma, and now we have the another congruence, alpha bar is congruent to 1 modulo gamma. So again this alpha bar is again integer. So if we multiply this congruence by alpha bar, suppose this is equation number star, and if we multiply equation star by alpha bar, we will get alpha bar x is congruent to alpha bar beta under modulo gamma, and alpha bar is congruent to 1. So we will write 1 into x, that is x is congruent to alpha bar beta, and alpha bar beta is now our integer. So x is equals to alpha bar beta, it will be the solution of our congruence. So we have alpha bar is congruent to 1 modulo gamma. So therefore multiplying this equation by alpha bar, we will get, multiplying equation star by alpha bar, we will get, therefore multiplying equation star, that is congruence star, by alpha bar, we will get alpha bar x is congruent to alpha bar beta under modulo gamma. Alpha bar x is congruent to alpha bar beta under modulo gamma. So and now by this equation, by this congruence, we have alpha bar is congruent to 1 under modulo gamma. So we will write here 1, that is x is congruent to alpha bar beta under modulo gamma, and hence x is equals to alpha bar beta will be the solution of the congruence ax is congruent to b mod m. Since we have considered this congruence and writing the value of a, b and m here, that is this congruence will be our equivalent congruence to this, and solving this congruence we will get the value of x, which is equals to alpha bar beta, which is an integer. This satisfies this congruence, means x is equals to alpha bar beta will be the solution of, hence x is equals to alpha bar beta gives the solution of ax is congruent to b mod m. Hence the converse part, that is if g divides b, then this congruence has solution. We have GCD of a and m is equals to g, so g must divide a and g divides m, also g divides b. So using definition of divisibility, we will get a is equals to g alpha, b is equals to g into some another integer, and m is equals to g into some another integer. So and considering this congruence and whose solution we are going to find, so considering this congruence and rewriting the values of a, b and m, we will, and using the result ax is congruent to ay mod m if and only if x is congruent to y modulo m upon GCD of a and m, we get alpha x is congruent to beta under modulo gamma, since here the GCD of g and g gamma is g. So we get this equation number star. Also we have GCD of a and m is equals to g. So from that we get GCD of a by g and m by g is equals to 1, that is a by g is alpha and m by g is equals to gamma. So we get GCD of alpha and gamma is equals to 1, alpha and gamma is equals to 1. So using the result ax, GCD of a and m is equals to 1 if and only if ax is congruent to 1 mod m has solution. So we will get alpha x is congruent to 1 mod gamma has solution, and if that solution will be alpha bar, then we get alpha bar is congruent to 1 mod gamma. So multiplying by alpha bar in equation star, that is the equation alpha x is congruent to beta modulo gamma, multiplying by alpha bar, we will get this, and that x is equals to alpha bar beta gives the solution of the congruence ax is congruent to b mod m. Now it's remain to prove that the solutions of this congruence forms an arithmetic progression. So let this will be the first solution. Let this x naught is equals to alpha bar beta, x naught is equals to alpha bar beta, that is, therefore from this equation number, suppose equation number is equation number 1, therefore consider equation from equation 1, we can write this gamma divides x minus alpha bar beta, gamma divides x minus alpha bar beta. Now using definition of, this is by using definition of congruence on equation number 1. Now using definition of divisibility on this equation we will get, therefore by definition of divisibility we get x minus alpha bar beta is equals to gamma into some integer. At this k be any integer, that is k belongs to z. This is by definition of divisibility. This, rearranging this, we will get x is equals to alpha bar beta plus this gamma k, alpha bar beta plus gamma k. Or instead of writing this, we have x naught is equals to alpha bar beta. So instead of writing this, just write the value of alpha bar beta is equals to x naught. Here we get x minus x naught is equals to gamma k. This is just wrong step. X minus alpha bar beta, and alpha bar beta we have supposed that alpha bar beta is equals to x naught. So instead of alpha bar beta I will just write x naught. So we will get x minus x naught is equals to gamma k. This, so this gives us x is equals to x naught plus gamma k, and we know that the gamma is equals to, since by this equation we have m is equals to g gamma. So gamma will be equals to m upon g. So putting the value of gamma is equals to m by g, we will get this x is equals to x naught plus m by g times k. That is, our solutions forms an arithmetic progression with common difference m by g. Hence the proof. Therefore the solutions forms an arithmetic progression with common difference m by g. Hence the proof of this theorem. Now write down one more remark. If from this we can say that if x naught is one solution of the congruence Ax is congruent to B mod m, then the remaining solutions are of the form x is equals to x naught plus m by g k. X naught is our suppose first solution, then other solutions x are of the form x naught plus m by g k, and if this k is running from 0 to g minus 1, since this congruence Ax is congruent to B mod m has g number of solutions, that is g is equals to GCD, that is g number of solutions. So we will substitute k is equals to 0, we will get x naught, then 1 2 up to g minus 1, then we can find all g solutions. Remark, that is our remark says that if x naught is solution of Ax is congruent to B mod m, then other solutions are of the form x is equals to x naught plus m by g k, and where this k running from 0 1 2 up to g minus 1, 0 1 2 up to g minus 1. Hence this remark will be useful to us for finding the solution of the problems. So we will take one example on this theorem. Find the solutions of the congruence. Find the solutions of the congruence 18x is congruent to 30 under modulo 42. 18x is congruent to 30 under modulo 42. Here we can compare this congruence, that is compare with ax is congruent to b under modulo m. So here we get a is equals to 18, b is equals to 30 and m is equals to 42. To solve such problems, first of all we will check the GCD of this a and m. If that GCD divides this number, then we will find the solutions. Otherwise, if that is the GCD of a and m doesn't divide this number, then we will say that this congruence has no solution. If a is equals to 18 and b is equals to 13 and m is equal to 42, we will find the GCD of a and m, which is equals to GCD of 18 and 42, and the GCD of 18 and 42 is 6, since 6 divides 18, 6 divides 42, and this 6 divides 30, that is our G divides B, hence this, so congruence has solution. Hence this 18x is congruent to 30 under modulo 42 has solution. Now we are just going to find the x naught arbitrarily, that is if we put the value of x is equals to 0 and 0 is not congruent to 30 under modulo 42, then if we put the value of x is equals to 1, then we will get 18. So 18 minus 30 is not going to congruent under modulo 42. If we put the value of x is equals to, we are just doing these calculations on calculator, we will get x is equals to 4. 18 4 is 72 and 72 minus 40, 72 minus 30 is equals to 42. So x is equals to 4 is solution of this congruence 18. X is congruent to 30 under modulo 42. X is equals to 4. Doing these calculations on calci, we will get x is equals to 4 is solution of 18x is congruent to 30 modulo 42. And from the above remark, we will say that the other solutions are of the form. Therefore, the other solutions are of the form x is equals to x naught plus m by g into k, and this k is running from 0 1 to up to g minus 1. Here g is equals to 6, so g minus 1 is 5, 3, 4 and 5. Now here x naught is equals to 4. X naught is equals to 4. Therefore x1 is equals to this x naught plus m by g times k, that is x naught is 4 plus m by g, that is m by g means 42 minus 6 is 7. M by g is 42 by 6 into, if we put the value of k is equals to 0, then we will get x naught. So we have to put the value of 1, that is 4 plus 7 is 11. So 11 is another solution. Now for this another solution x2, 4 plus this 7 into 1 is 7 into 2, we will get 4 plus 14 is 18. So for the third solution x3 is equals to 4 plus 7 into 3, we will get 7 3s are 21 plus 4 is 25, and we all know that there are exactly g solution, that is here g is equals to 6, so 6 solutions. This is the first one, the second, third, fourth. Now we are going to find remaining 2 solutions. So x4 is equals to 4 plus 7 into 4, which is equals to 7 4 the 28 plus 4 is 32, and the last solution will be 4 plus 7 into 5, 7 5 is 35 plus 4 is 39. Therefore this x naught is equals to 4, then 7 4 in here 11, then 18 25 32 and 39 are the solutions of the congruence, 18x is congruent to 30 modulo 42. 2, hence the solution.